we've been speculating recently about the last entity inside the Echo. Although the episodes have felt a little out of place at times, the Echoes could have some major implications for the future of the story. Today we speak about the third Hive Echo once more, and an ancient god related to the Hive that could still have some schemes up her sleeve leading into Heresy. So we've speculated about this third Echo a couple of times already. Was it Oryx, or an ancient eldritch force, maybe even some other force, or the Nine? We don't currently know, we have a month to see, but I love Destiny's story, the lore, and trying to figure out what could happen. So if speculating about the future of the story is not your thing, I guess here's your warning. But today we dive into yet another possibility. An ancient sterile mother of the Krill that's been missing since her betrayal a long time ago. Teox was a teacher among the Osmium throne on Fundament. In the hateful verse card, she writes a desperate plea to the Helium court. As the Osmium king, the father of the three sisters, falls into old age, he is no longer able to rule in Teox's eyes. She sees the king's three young heirs, Zero, Sethona, and Arash, as unfit to lead the kingdom. Alone, I must act to save my kingdom. Senility has claimed my lord, the Osmium king. He is 10 and mad. The study of ancient texts consumes him. Today, he raves about moons above the storm. Tomorrow, he will wander the halls, speaking to his familiar, a dead white worm from the deep sea. He keeps it in a glass and he tends to it, and he neglects the duties of a king. The Osmium king has 3 surviving heirs, each 2 years old. Zero, the youngest and bravest, who wants to be a knight. Sethona, most clever, who wants to be a mother. And Arash, navigator child, who dreams of the infinite ocean. Tomorrow she will return from the tungsten monoliths. None of these are suitable heirs. None of them will protect the Osmium court from the howling Fundament. Zero can fight but not lead. Sethona can think but not fight. Arash's curiosity will draw her away from duty. I fear for all future children. Soon, the Osmium king will lock himself into royal orrery to study the moons. Gather your knights, O helium drinkers, and invade our continent. Kill the 3 heirs. I will rule the Osmium court as your regent and build engines for you. And if I fail, let the Leviathan in the deep eat me. Written in grief, this hateful request, Teox Osmium mother, neutered to watch. Seeing no hope in current leadership, Teox urges the Helium court to invade and kill the 3 sisters, allowing her to rule instead. In the end, the court agrees, killing the Osmium king and appointing Teox as leader. The 3 sisters were able to escape though, and thus began their crusade across the stars. The first stop, the depths below Fundament, where they encountered the worm gods and returned as the Hive. Sisters, this is how an oath is done. Put your hands on the mast close to mine. Take the knife in your right hand, push it through your left hand, straight between the bones. Now, carve a bloodline down the mast. Speak your oath. I am Zero, youngest daughter of the dead king. I will take back my Osmium court and kill the traitor Teox. On my left eye, I swear vengeance. Teox would rule for 2 years, but when the sisters returned with the worms and began amassing their Hive armies, she was clearly no match. She fought back as long as she could, but eventually fled to other worlds. Good news. The 52 moons of Fundament host a starfaring civilization far more sophisticated than anything you've encountered so far. Teox's ship fled toward the large ice moon, where a species of bony 6-armed cephalopods keeps their icy capital. Sabathoons named them the Ammonite. They seem eager to grant Teox asylum. Idiots. We tried appealing to their hopes and dreams. This was largely unsuccessful, basically because they're already happy and indoctrinated. This angered us, so we devised a plan. Our organs detect a 53rd moon in the orbit of Fundament, a traveler, divine presence of the sky. Now we know what arranged the syzygy. You have to kill them all and take their stuff. Once the Ammonite are out of the way, we can deal with the traveler. Do not hesitate. You're fighting the hypocritical puppets of a cosmic parasite. Avenge your ancestors. The Ammonite species would reside in a nearby moon of Fundament, an advanced civilization that the traveler had visited. We heard audio about this back in Season of the Witch.
I was digging through Savathun's archives and I found this little gem from about 1 million years ago. I figured you should know what you're up against.
For the first time, the Ammonites broke us. Hordes of my brood lay rotting in tribute. And the fetter of weakness was upon us. But our enemies have maid stars of their own. Their cruel admiral abandons the battlefield to attend their frail Leviathan. They would live in peace without first killing death. We shall reward their insolence without mercy. Go forth, my brood. Devour their Leviathan. Become their extinction and make temples of their corpses.
You humans think you're so special. The Ammonites had the Traveler, a Leviathan, even their own light. Their civilization made you look like pawn scum. But they ain't around anymore. Because Xivu's brood wiped them out. Every last one. And you're next.
Teox took asylum with the Ammonites for a time, teaching them about the three sisters and their species, and granting intel where needed to try and defeat them. The power of Oryx was too overwhelming though, and when the Ammonites were decimated by his forces, Teox fled once more, entering cryosleep aboard an ancient vessel. Attention, perimeter security units attend. Stand by to assimilate new imperatives. Gland 60-proof assimilation liquor or face immediate non-compliance taxation. The Dakawa Ministry of War is now online and true. In radial year 989, Grove 3, our clients in the Dakawa nest salvage an interstellar spacecraft. Hull isotopes date the craft's construction 24,000 years ago. Around the same time, the Fundament system dropped out of contact with our amiable Ecumune. Mercenary explorers, disposable class, discovered an organism frozen in stasis deep within the hull. She claims to be Teox, member of a proto-Hive species. During debriefing, she provided records of the fall of the Ammonite civilization and vital intelligence about the motives, biology, and leadership of the Hive. Over the past century, perimeter security units of the Ecumune Status Army have failed to halt Hive incursions on 17 separate worlds. All species in the Ecumune face extinction. 24,000 years, the Dakawa species find the ship and the krill creature inside. Teox was in cryosleep for that long and drifted all the way to this other species. At this point, the Hive had obliterated pretty much anything they'd come across. The armies of the three sisters were too overwhelming. And when Teox awoke thanks to the Dakawa, she too learned they were at war with the Hive. They had been for over 100 years. She provided what intel she could, but it was not enough. And 1,000 years later, they too were extinct. At some point, Queria Blade Transform had knowledge about Teox from those final battles, which it used to create simulations of Oryx. Beyond that, we don't know if she survived or is still out there, the last remaining Krill Mother. Then they made war on the Ecumune for 1,000 years and exterminated them so wholly that nowhere except in this book are they remembered. This book and the mind of Teox, who is not found. If I am defeated, I know it will be because of my understanding of the universe was incomplete. I failed to anticipate some strategy, some nemesis, perhaps Teox if she still lives. From Lightfall's Collector's Edition lorebook, Callus and Kaito talk about the Oxa machine. The Odile Zenitaph and Archive, sometimes OXTA depending on how you construct the acronym, the alien oracle that led us to the graves of Ark. Must be weary now. Oxa is a Scion myth, and the Scions are a sensitive topic. My father wants to free them from bondage. It claimed to record the story of the galaxy and to prophesize what may yet come. A black box for galactic civilizations if you prefer it in pilot's terms. The Advocate General nods to the pin on my right pauldron. I am conscious of my shaved down tusks, of the sores left by the fighter's interface. The doomed and the damned left the record of their downfall in the Oxa. Your star got its name from the oldest myths in that archive. And when your mother told your father that story, the star became your name. A prayer that all will go as it must, and the way it must go is struggle. So we've heard Oxa before, this prediction engine used by many different species. The Scions wanted Maya Sundaresh was after it, and Freeborn Atzad rebuilt it long ago. Some have pointed out though that this OXTA is an anagram for Teox, the way the letters are arranged, and that she might have been this alien oracle providing and documenting information about these civilizations that fell to destructive forces like the Hive.
Their leaders belong to you. The rest await extermination. No. Gather them. I will take them all.
If she doesn't exist anymore, maybe she had a part to play in documenting the ruthlessness of this new hive for other civilizations to find, like the Cabal. We don't know, but it is interesting. On the other hand, Teox could be completely dead, and Bungie never intended to continue her story anyway. It does seem kind of odd though that there are some hints, like from Oryx back in the Books of Sorrow, and this weird anagram just last year in Lightfall's Collector's Edition. Anyway, Guardians, that's all we got for today's video. If you'd like to see some more Destiny lore and mysteries just like it, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.